Hey there! Biosphere reserves are areas of land that promote the conservation of biodiversity, sustainable development, and the study of ecological systems. So they're called biosphere reserves because they're kind of like mini planets or ecosystems unto themselves. The term biosphere refers to the part of the Earth that is inhabited by living organisms. And these reserves are special places where we can study how humans interact with the environment inside them. There are currently 704 biosphere reserves in 129 countries. They cover almost 5% of the Earth's land area and about 15% of the world's oceans. This model was developed by UNESCO in cooperation with several scientific and governmental organizations. So let's take a closer look at what goes on inside a biosphere reserve. The idea is that these areas should be big enough to support natural processes, but also small enough to be easily managed. Each one has three: a core area, a buffer zone, and a transition zone. The core area is the heart of the reserve where strict protection is provided to both the natural and human-made environment. There are no human settlements in this area, and human access is strictly controlled to minimize disturbance. The core area is surrounded by a buffer zone where compatible economic and social activities can continue. These might include things like agriculture or forestry, or even urban development. But these activities are carefully planned and monitored to ensure that they do not negatively impact the core area. Then, beyond the buffer zone is the transition zone where local people live and work. The key to the success of this model is that these zones are not completely separate from each other. People and goods can move between them, and they're all managed together as a single unit. So why are these places so important? Well, first of all, they're home to an incredible diversity of life. By protecting these areas, we're able to preserve habitats and species that might otherwise be lost. In fact, more than 35% of terrestrial species and 25% of marine species live in these reserves. This means that biosphere reserves play a critical role in maintaining healthy ecosystems and supporting the services they provide to us humans. For example, insects pollinate our crops and control pests. Birds disperse seeds and decompose organic matter. Microbes fix nitrogen in the soil. All of these things are essential for food production and healthy ecosystems. But biodiversity is also important for our survival because it provides us with a safety net. As the climate changes and the environment becomes more stressful, we need to have as many options as possible to draw on. Imagine if there was only one type of rice or wheat in the world. A disease could wipe out the entire food supply. But thanks to the diversity of plants in our fields and in the wild, we have lots of different options to explore when we need them. We can also use genetic resources from wild relatives of our crops to breed new varieties that are more resistant to pests or better adapted to a changing climate. Biosphere reserves are also great places to do scientific research. Because these areas are protected, they provide a unique opportunity to study how ecosystems function without the influence of human activities. Scientists can use this information to develop better models of how the environment works and to make predictions about how it will change in the future. Biosphere reserves are also living laboratories where scientists can study how humans interact with the environment. By understanding how we impact the world around us, we can develop better strategies for conserving biodiversity and managing natural resources. In addition to their ecological importance, biosphere reserves also provide a wealth of cultural and educational opportunities. They are home to many indigenous peoples, and their cultures are an important part of the biodiversity of the area. By preserving these cultures, we're also preserving a vital part of our shared human heritage. Biosphere reserves offer visitors the chance to experience nature in a way that is both inspiring and humbling. They're a reminder of the beauty and complexity of the natural world and the importance of protecting it.